from the Swisscast Network.
I've spent 20 years helping impact founders build businesses at scale without the burnout. Every episode of this podcast is 5 to 8 minutes with just one tool or approach you can use this week. Welcome to This Is Harder Than I Want It to Be. I'm Glinda van Egmond. Let's make it easier. At what point is my business actually ready for structure? And how do I know I'm not just adding bureaucracy? I had a founder say this to me recently. I am worried that if I build more structure, we'll lose the thing that made us good in the first place. And I've heard versions of this many times before. The scrappy energy, the speed, the ability to just decide and move, it feels creative and it's energizing and it's fun. And most founders see that as a superpower. And they're scared that structure will kill that. The process has worked. It created a working business, and what you absolutely don't want to do is turn this into something slow, corporate, where everything needs a meeting and nothing actually gets done. It's a fair concern. I've seen it happen, but I've also seen what happens when businesses that need structure don't build it. And that's a bigger mess. So, when are you actually ready? And how do you know the difference between useful structure and bureaucracy? Here's the thing about bureaucracy. It doesn't usually come from too much structure. It comes from building the wrong kind, at the wrong time, and for the wrong reasons. So, structure that turns into bureaucracy usually has one of three problems. One, it was built to control people rather than to clarify work. Two, it was built before the team understood why it existed. And three, it was built to solve a problem that had already changed. So, useful structure does the opposite. It removes decisions from your plate. It makes it obvious who does what. It means people know what to do without waiting for you or for others. If you're adding processes and things are getting slower and more complicated, that's bureaucracy. If you're adding processes and things are getting faster and cleaner and simpler, that's structure. The difference is almost always in the why and not in the what. I think the readiness question is actually the wrong question. Most founders ask, are we ready for structure? When what they really mean is, are we big enough to need it? And size is the wrong trigger. The right trigger is friction, otherwise known as stress, frustration, exhaustion, your sanity slowly disappearing. When the same conversation keeps happening twice, when someone made a decision last week that 3 people could have made differently, when a new person joined and it took 3 months to get them to understand how things actually work, not because they were slow, but because nobody had written it down, that is when you need structure. Not because you're hitting a headcount number or any other number for that matter. Because the absence of structure is costing you something big. The scrappy energy doesn't disappear when you build structure. It disappears when you're so busy managing the chaos of no structure that you can't actually do the work you're good at. Structure gives the energy somewhere to go. Here's a simple test before you build anything new. Ask, what is the decision or conversation this process is meant to replace? If you can answer that clearly, great, go build it. If you can't answer it, or the answer is, I just think we should have a process for this, then please stop. That's how bureaucracy starts. Every piece of structure should be replacing something that currently is costing you time, clarity, and confidence. If it's not replacing anything, it's just adding weight. Start there. One friction point, one thing that keeps coming back, and build just enough to handle that. And then see what the next friction point is. That won't create bureaucracy. That's how businesses that stay good actually grow. Season 2 of This Is Harder Than I Want It to Be starts August 6th. 10 new episodes with real stories and the kind of honest look at what goes wrong in a growing business that I wish someone had given me earlier. If there's a topic you want me to cover, a question you want me to answer, something you've been wondering about, send it to me on LinkedIn. The details are in the show notes. That's it for today. That's it for this episode. Check the show notes for ways to connect with me because we all know impact founding is much harder than we want it to be. I hope this makes it easier.
This podcast is a production of the Swisscast Network, amplifying English-speaking voices in, for, and about Switzerland. Learn more at swisscast.network.